And we're live with another not so exciting episode of Super Desperation Radio, but it is a special episode because we have another guest this week. So I don't want to. I guess we already did give it away who it was. I was trying to save it for a surprise, but we wouldn't get viewers otherwise if we hadn't given away our hand early. Anyway, later on you'll.
Are we really saying that we're not exciting?
Well, every time I say we're exciting, you guys are like, "What the fuck are you talking about, man? We suck." Or at least you suck.
You're not exciting.
Yes,
that's the thing.
Our guests are pretty exciting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Chris, we have guests, not guest. We have two guests.
I thought I said guests. Did I say guest?
All right, everyone. We have two guests here today. They'll be joining us later today to talk about stuff and things. One is the illustrious owner of Broken Tier. I believe his name is Coogie, right? Coogie?
Maybe.
Coogie. And the other one is like some nerdy guy. I don't know. He won like $25,000 playing a video game.
Apparently, you're not supposed to lose to that guy.
Yeah. They're Josh, the king of poverty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that guy. He plays the same games I play.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But up first, we've got some stuff to talk to you about that recently came out today, which obviously was on the tip of everybody's YouTube, or actually rather not YouTube, but Twitter fingers. Steam finally came clean about the KOF XIII Steam Edition release, and they're even allowing pre-orders for the low price of $25, which is
go ahead. Yeah, it's a toss-up. Okay, $25 right now. It's on sale if you pre-order it. If you don't pre-order it, you have to pay $30 when it comes out. And the good thing about it is all the characters are unlocked right off the bat. You don't have to pay for the 3 DLC characters. So technically, if you want to get technical about it, you pay $15 for the game and then $15 for the DLC, and boom. Or if you pre-order it, $15 for the game and you get 2 DLC and you get 1 in for free.
That's a regular sales bonanza.
Yeah,
they're promising underlined, italicized, vastly improved netcode.
Oh right,
whatever that means.
Yes. Wasn't it also bold?
It might have been. I think they just hit every
maybe just a semi-bold.
Oh, the semi-bold?
The semi-bold. Where is that?
Only moderately important.
So vastly improved?
Vastly.
Is this one of those things where it's like, hey, a
Fun.
shit steak is slightly better than a shit sandwich?
Maybe. We're not
Ooh.
sure.
Oh wow, look at that. Vastly improved.
Yeah, bold and underlined.
I think they meant to strike that instead of underline it.
We'll wait a week for that to happen.
And now features nothing.
So, also to go with this, they're doing an open closed beta, if you will. So you need to register for the beta, which is on the Steam page. So just go to the Steam, look up KOF XIII on Steam, find the pre-order page, and there's going to be a link to be on the closed beta. And from there, you get randomly thrown in a drawing of 300 people.
Actually, don't sign up for the beta, so I can get into it easier.
Yeah,
that's the thing. To get in all 300 times.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a
Best
problem with the way
netcode is when you play by yourself.
Oh.
And I can tell you right now, there are plenty of people who are in the beta.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I mean, plenty of people. It's over 4 digits already, and it's been less than 12 hours already. So it's pretty good for KOF.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, 12. Wait, what?
Yeah, man, 12 digits of people.
They're already putting people in?
Someone's got dyslexia here.
So,
yeah, I mean it's good. King of Fighters finally on Steam. The game comes out September. What was it? September 21st, I believe. September. It's coming out in September. Forgot the exact date already because I'm stupid. But
Understandable.
it's still a good thing. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, September 13th. Comes out.
So this opens up a couple different things, in my opinion. And one, obviously, is that we could actually get good net play. That's the obvious.
Yeah.
But the other obvious thing is that we could actually finally get hitboxes.
See, I love this. You're the first person who actually brings that up. I've been waiting for someone to say that. No one has mentioned this.
Because once we get the PC rip, people should be able to go in and find the code, and we can actually get what these moves look like. And that'll be some really entertaining stuff, I'm quite positive.
Let's face it, nothing's going to beat Hwajai standee.
It's going to be like an entire block Surrounding him is his standee.
No, I want to know the Shen Crouching Fierce where it's like, there's no vulnerable blocks randomly.
Yeah.
Couldn't be any worse than Bowser CD from 98 UM, right?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I do think if and when the hitboxes show up, some people are gonna shake their heads at certain things.
Sure.
And depending on which version of the game this is, the hitboxes will be a bit tighter in terms of if it's regular KOF 13 or if it's Climax, or I mean if it's console or Climax, because people need to remember Climax did fix a few minor issues here and there. In terms of fixing hitboxes, hurt boxes, and some bugs that shouldn't have happened.
Correct.
And then, of course, there's always a chance it could be a whole new version.
That would be nice.
Always a chance.
Climax?
This is Steam Edition.
No, it's called King of Fighters 13 Denouement.
That's the thing that nobody has brought up. There might be another version of the game with tweaked other things.
Yeah, so it could be the same game with all the same characters but slightly modified, just like how 13 or console 13 and Climax are. Mm-hmm. See, and then you do have people that say 13 and console and Climax are identical, but they're not. There are very, very minor differences, and it's not a bunch of differences. It's just some things here and there. This could do the same thing. It could fix stupid shit like Huajai Stand D, for instance. I don't know. Since we just used that already, I mean, it can fix that. It can fix a lot of things, but we'll see. King of Fighters 13, everyone says KOF 13's major downfall was the internet. Supposedly, if it had good online coding, it could be a huge game. I personally don't believe that, but we'll see. If this game does have good online, let's see if people actually do play it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot more people will play King of Fighters 13 if the netcode is good. I'm not sure if it'll increase tournament numbers or anything like that, but I mean, it'd still be nice to have a larger player base, people to play with, and an actual way to play, especially when you have communities where 4 to 0 people play, and then you can't find them. It's really, really difficult to play the game in general.
Yeah, I think that even if this doesn't, I mean, if the netcode is good, it may not necessarily increase tournament numbers, but I think it'll at least make the average player who does come to tournaments that much better.
Yeah, it can definitely help players.
That's what's important too, because there's been players that are already playing online and showing up and doing remarkably well for the current state of online. So give them something they can actually work with, and all of a sudden, they improve. People see that they're improving, then they're like, "Hey, maybe me too." That's how the BlazBlue community pretty much survived outside of California and I guess some parts in the Midwest, right?
Wait, the BlazBlue community survived?
We lasted at least a year. Once it came out, we were just like, hey, we can actually play this game online. And then we stopped going to arcades. And then it just died because people were sick of the updates.
Yeah, I was about to say, the first year it was alright, and then as the updates came out, everybody decided to just sit home and play online and not go to tournaments anymore.
Yeah.
Not exactly the best argument for online play helping an offline community.
It's not.
Anyway,
It's like, hey, our tournament numbers shot up. Our online tournament numbers.
Actually, that's something that would help. Online tournaments actually do help get games bigger. We've done it in the past with KOF 98, 2K2, Mark of the Wolves, and so on, a bunch of older games. And we did this back on Kylera, and it worked. Dang. We also did it on GGPO in the early days. It helped get a lot of people who were never interested in some of these games into it. Because it's free to enter, and when you play someone, we always helped out. And people just stuck with the game. And it was pretty cool. Now, it would be great if they added that feature that Kylera had where, you could play 6-player 98, 3v3. That'd be sick. But, it's not going to happen. I do think this can actually do good for SNK, just because they'll see that the game's actually worth putting more time into instead of, pachinko slots.
Yeah. Apparently they ain't doing too good on that either.
This is true.
There's one thing that bothers me, though. You said it earlier about how you sign up for the closed beta, and you basically get thrown into a lottery system that determines whether or not you even get into this thing. And while that seems like okay for, like, I guess most new games that, you know, nobody knows about, this is the game that's been out for a while. And I would think that it almost behooves the releasers to almost, like, advertise this to people who already own it and can play it on PC. And so they have something to compare the netcode to, you know? Like somebody who might know what to look for versus just a bunch of people who are like, hey, I want to try it out, free game.
Here's the thing. How do you know that they don't already have people in there like that?
I mean, they probably do. I'm just saying, it's like, it's weird to have, like, I mean, it's just something strange is all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just saying it's not exactly the best way to test something that's already been proven to be very storied.
I think what Gibby's saying is that possibly they already have a number of people who have been selected, perhaps based on their internet capabilities, you know, whether it be high or low,
right,
to do testing of the netcode, and that these 300 people, it might just be like a promotional thing to get word of mouth about the game going. That's a feasible, you know, possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they have to test how well it's going to work, you know, with the different qualities of internet.
And I wouldn't say that they shouldn't ignore that, but I think, and I'm not saying this because, like, this will definitely guarantee, like, you know, real fans a spot at playing the KOF XIII Steam Edition beta, but it also seems like you can fill up your beta test with a lot of people who don't really know what they're doing, and it just won't solve anything, you know? And on the flip side, you can fill it up with a bunch of people who do know what they're doing, and it still didn't solve anything, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're going to see how it goes. Honestly, I don't think the beta or this
upcoming beta is going to be used as a normal beta. It's just going to give people a chance to play the game, see what an outsider's experience is like. Because I'm pretty sure they've already tested it internally with selected people around the world, because it's been in the Steam database for quite some time now. People have reported seeing other players playing KOF 13, and this is also from different parts of the world. So we'll see. This is probably just like, hey, we're going to select 300 of you random people just to play this game, just to say you guys were the first to play it. Doesn't that make you feel special? Because the sad fact is, this will make KOF and SNK fans happy if they get in it.
Right. But at the end of the day, it really might not change anything. It might just literally be like, hey, here's early access to a game that we already finished.
I really hope that by signing up for the beta, I will not be receiving pills to enlarge my penis.
Maybe you hope you don't.
Hey, man, it's good enough as is, okay?
Oh, I heard that. Up top, baby boy.
I would like
Continuing on.
that my crappy laptop can actually run this, so that when it comes out, I can play it if the netcode's good.
Yeah, they do have recommended specs on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw them. Since I've got a new rig, I can definitely play it.
Yeah, looking at it, it's actually not going to take that much to play it. Plus, apparently they have, you know, graphic options to change the backgrounds to simple ones and such, so...
I mean, cool.
Yeah, well, that would probably be the laggiest problem. That'd be pretty good. But, yeah, from what it looks like, I mean, your laptop should probably be able to play it.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's not too intense. There is sorry.
No. And I was going to say, and the greatest of hopes is that maybe this will sell well, and we could get more characters or another game.
I was actually getting to that, you know? It's actually a
Mark
great
of the
sign that
Wolves
they're
2.
carrying...
It's never coming, Gibby. Give it up.
No, we're getting Fatal Fury Special to real Val.
Real
Gar
Valkyrie.
sense.
You know, okay, look, if we got that, I'd be fine with that too. I honestly don't want another KOF game. I want something different. That's not KOF or Samurai Showdown. Or Art Fighting.
Fatal Mark
Showdown shit.
Of the Samurai.
No CVS 3. It would be terrible.
No. Well, what if we have like the other teams that, like, you know, balance it? Like, you know, what if we had David Sterling on CVS 3? Come on, guys.
No, we need Last Blade versus Samurai Showdown. Produced, directed, and written by David Serlin.
Yes.
So
No more
he
speed
brings
combos.
back his unused Street Fighter 4 idea of time-altering mechanics.
Like,
not only can you have a comeback factor, but you have a comeback factor that can go back in time and stop that comeback before it ever happened.
So it's the comeback breaker, is what you're talking.
Exactly.
falls
right on the money.
You know what? I think you have to just invent
You better go copyright that quick.
I think you're onto something there, buddy.
I'm gonna write this down in my notepad.
You know,
just gonna write down the word genius
right next to it, big glowing letters.
But at the end of the day, this is a great sign, a great showing from SNK, showing that they really, haven't forgotten about the KOF community, and they, to some extent appreciate the fact that we've been supporting, and everybody else has been supporting their game for as long as they have been, and that it's still somewhat popular. And, like you said, Paul, that if this sells well, maybe they will, throw some more stuff at us in the future.
Yeah, I think that's the most we can hope for.
Right.
Is that good sales and could equal, a more robust community, as well as the potential for a growing community with a new game in the future.
Yep.
You know what I really do hope comes from this, because, this is just somewhat of a side note, but if this game sells well, and we already know that Skullgirls has sold well, and, if Ultra comes out day one on PC with the upgrade, which I don't even know if that's going to happen. I'm not holding my breath on that one. But the fact that and even Yaragras, where there are fighting games on the PC, which normally didn't really have too many before, unless you counted emulation or whatever. But if this can be a trend, and especially with the way the architecture of the newer consoles are being more or less just console PCs, that hopefully there will be more fighting games that show up on the PC, and we could have more indie fighting games and things like that. Kind of like someone wants to make a new Time Killers, or there's that one other game, Death Cargo, which I think is a bit silly. I'm not a fan of it, but it looks really funny, especially when the guy's face gets ripped off. But
I'd rather have a remake of Dynamite Deca.
But yeah,
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
I'm just saying that. Well, Dynamite Deca is
It's got fighting game it got fighting game elements.
Yeah, actually, it was really cool. At the end, you fight each other. But the thing is that I really hope that there's a trend that there will be more fighting games on the PC, because that seems to be like one of my favorite platforms. Not just because it's a PC, but because I'm on my PC all the time. If I want to do something, I can just click it and it's there. It's like people that use their cell phone all the time. It's like, oh, I'll just use this app. It's in front of me. I can utilize this.
Wait, Dynamite Deca? You mean Dynamite Cop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, maybe Alex will get his sequel to Mace: The Dark Age.
Ooh. Yeah, that game's terrible.
No, but on that note, please put the new Guilty Gear on PC.
That's never happening.
I
don't think Arc System Works knows that
the PC even exists. Yeah.
Hey, they put what, Sharp Reload on there, didn't they?
No, that was not an official release the last time I heard.
That was Sammy and Sega.
Yeah.
It was Smigme.
And then it got it got violated to hell by fan hackers, and became an awesome online game. Somewhat.
That's all I'm saying is, please support the PC community.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Steambox.
Hopefully this does push SNK to actually work with the PC community more. And we've seen Capcom working with them with Street Fighter 4 and Cross Tekken. I haven't heard anything about Marvel coming out for PC. ArcSys, I don't know about that. I would love for them to work with PCs. Everyone needs to work with Steam. Simple as that.
Yeah.
There's no downside to working with Steam. It's cheap, and you get your game out to the more people than you can just by making it exclusive. And
it's like free marketing.
Yeah. Cheap production costs, cheap everything. You don't have. There's very minimal overhead when it comes to this.
Yeah. Plus, you can update as much as you want, and you don't have to pay bandwidth fees.
Yeah. It's great.
Crazy.
And one thing about KOF XIII coming out, technically it's a win-win situation, because there's a good chance SNK may not even be thinking of making another KOF game. They're just they could be using this as a test to see if they should make another King of Fighters game.
Yeah,
or another fighting game in general. It's like, oh, if this sells well, we will. If it doesn't, then we'll stay on course. Just make some more pachinko slots.
Let's make another games. 3D Sam show.
Yeah, 3D. That's the way to go.
God.
Guilty Gear just did it. It looks so amazing. Wait,
And
that's
they only
not
ripped
3D.
that off of us, right? We did it first.
Yeah.
We're gonna make Maximum Impact 3.
Hey, I would be down with that. No, I would be down.
No, I'm going to tell you right
Just
now.
stop,
I do
stop.
not play any fighting game where the life bars are uneven lines. If the angle, that's why I don't play Street Fighter 4. Nobody notices this, but it is actually a pixel tilted diagonally downwards when you go to the left on the first player's side. The life bars are at an angle. I am not playing anything with uneven life bars. If it's not a flat straight line, I am not playing it.
That's angry. Anger.
I can respect that. As his OCD kicks in, and you can't
Yeah, I was
deal
about
with
to say.
What if it just had a percent number in the life bar with it?
I'm fine with that. As long as it's a straight line.
What if it's curved, but it tells you what your exact
No
HP
curves, no angles, straight lines only.
Straight
Game
down,
that has
buddy.
bent,
Now-
every game that has had a bent life bar has been bad. Tekken 4, terrible. Maximum Impact, butt ass.
does? Yes,
Which
but
maximum
I enjoyed
impact
it.
Are we talking about like Regulation A?
It was
Oh, you
still
mean-
butt.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, a lot of things clash in the game, but
a lot of.
I
things
enjoyed it. It had Mizoguchi in it. I mean, that's good enough, right?
It had Armored Ralph and I still couldn't get into it.
Regulation A didn't, but 2
That's
did.
why it was bad.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That's terrible.
Well, I mean, why are we talking about bad games?
Because that's what we do. We're a
Week,
poverty channel.
this past week has been pretty good. We've had two new Guilty Gear games in the past week. And we've got Plus R, and we've got this other one that no one seems to know how to pronounce.
I believe
Zerd,
it's third.
Zerd.
Basically, like third,
Yeah.
just slightly pronounced differently.
But as you know, the Japanese actually cannot pronounce the word third. They have to say zed. Third. They can't do it. Not with their accents.
So, with that in mind, we've invited a couple quote-unquote experts.
That's great. Experts. It's funny.
Josh, you there?
You left. You're like,
No.
quote
Nope,
unquote.
not an expert.
All right. And Paul Kugler?
I'm definitely not an expert.
Excellent.
There you go. We have two definitely not an experts in here to talk about a game they know nothing about. This is gonna be amazing.
What
Well,
is
actually,
the game
this-
called?
It's called what was it? Calamity Gear Trigger Blue Carnival of Midnight Rises Again.
Also a
Yeah.
real game.
So
Is that like Eternal Champions or something?
yeah, actually,
Can we get Eternal Champions too? That would be awesome.
that'd be so sick. So how you two doing today, Josh?
I'm doing good. Just relaxing.
That's good to hear. Coogie, how about you? How are
I'm
things
doing
going?
pretty good. I'm trying to recover from Evo. I finally got a chance to relax a bit after shipping all those orders. So, and now I'm talking to you guys.
Finally
Does it-
out from under all the business aspects.
Oh my god, dude.
All right, so jumping in, first impressions of the new Guilty Gear. Sir, what do you guys think?
Dude, I'm excited. I don't know. A lot of people don't seem to like it. They think the graphics look like whatever, but I'm super excited for it.
I'm smiling so much right now, just even thinking about what I'm gonna say. I was really worried about like movement and all that, but it literally looks like the same game laminated with a better resolution. Like I can't believe they did the 3D and the 2D that well. It's pretty crazy.
I'm so excited for the character changes. Like those are just some of them are so crazy that it's like a new game, but it's not a new game because I can recognize all the moves. And the
Yeah.
frames are exactly the same. But then I see May do some weird shit where she like flops on the air and does like a pancake, and then like she lands on a dolphin, and I'm just like, whoa, what the hell is this? And it's just
Yeah,
cool.
The new focus on May's like aquatic helpers is weird. Like the seal that comes out with the beach ball, and like being able to ride the dolphin out of the hoop is pretty interesting and a pretty big change for the way that character used to play.
Isn't
I-
isn't it with the use of the dolphins you can actually like recover some faster on some moves if you land on a dolphin or something?
Yeah, that's what it seems like, basically, because she always had to set the hoop move and then dolphins would come out of it, but now it seems like you set the hoop, and if you just happen to land in the hoop, you just shoot out with a dolphin. And it has a hitbox. It's crazy looking.
Yo, let's talk for a second about Great Yamato. The whale, like when the screen changes and you just see this fucking whale flying at you, like,
Oh my god.
I don't think there's any way I could actually continue fighting if I saw this big pink whale fly at me. But they definitely changed how that move works. Like before, it was like a screen freeze, and you got fucked if you weren't blocking it closer than half
Just
screen.
wait. Oh man, the cinema scene for the instant kill with the big mama falling on you is gonna be even better, man.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, the wave coming out with the whale riding on top of it.
Dude, and you're on top of a fucking ship. Like, how does that even work? Where's this whale coming from?
Oh man.
Yeah, only thing I've noticed is that I was telling the guys before the show is it feels like the dash speed on the ground is a little bit slower. But air dash speed seems the same. Normal speed and recovery seems the same. Like, it honestly feels like I'm looking at double X. Just, like Josh was saying, just nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Because it feels like a lot of the moves have been reverted to the double X versions.
Yeah.
It looks like Reload. I mean, all the attacks are based off of Reload, it seems like. Some of them obviously have some new inspiration for it, but like seeing Soul have old Grand Viper back and, the trailer shows Dust Loop, you're just like, man, they're really bringing it back. Like Accent Core, I feel they went off fucking left field, but now they're kind of bringing it back to the simpler time when Guilty Gear wasn't so completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Looking just at Soul's damage, it kind of reminds me of like Slash Soul when he was most popular. Like he just does raw damage and plays like a simple Shoto style, but it's so rewarding.
This is cracking me up. I'm just thinking of the old man voice at this time. It's like, remember when Guilty Gear wasn't so complicated? It's fun, remember?
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how they're going to take the gameplay. Obviously, FRCs are gone, but they're being replaced by YRCs, it looks like, which look really weird at first. You see people like do a move, and then things sort of stop for a second, and then everything just keeps going.
Are those the free ones? I forget. There's like a free RC, isn't there?
Well, it seems like, from what I've seen, I haven't seen a ton of the gameplay yet, that there are going to be moves you can roam and cancel on whiff.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they are.
Why not RCs?
Yeah, I get.
I think
Just
that
throw
it's,
them out.
I mean, if they don't have FRCs and they're just saying, fuck it, we're done with this mechanic, then I think it's one of the best things that can happen to Guilty Gear. I like Blue Romans, and I think that they add a lot of skill to the game. Like, you can do some cool stuff with them, but they really add, like, this extra hurdle for new players to get into the game. Because in the past, Guilty Gear did a really poor job of even explaining what the hell those were. So now I think that if you just make it so any projectile can be canceled, any attack can be canceled, you're just like, well, probably everyone has more meter gain, and you're going to see a lot crazier stuff happen overall.
You could like just look at Axel and him and XX and Reloaded. He had 1 frame FRC for the first game, and in the second game they changed the timing off by that frame, but it was 2, so it wasn't as intuitive. So like a lot of people they wanted to play that character, but they couldn't do those combos. So then by the time Slash comes out, he's not a good character. You already like kill all the burn off like people wanting to play Axel.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially like you said, when they've changed the timing between games. I mean, Gunflame FRC from Soul changed 3 times at least from Double X on. Is that right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
so I think it was 2 in Reload, and then past that 3, but I'm not sure.
I think it was 3. I think they changed it in Slash or Accent Core, one of those.
So just because people decided that where you could FRC the move was too strong at first, so they moved it back to where it was a little bit later. So for people who don't have the best execution, you had to sit down and practice a ton to get that down every game. And obviously there's always new things to learn in every game, but just the basic mechanics of your character changing in a way that just creates a new execution hurdle for you is rough for some people.
I just want to see them do it in like. I don't mind if they try to make games easier. I just don't like it when there's like input windows that last 5 seconds, and like if it takes like them enough time to change the system that much, they should like put something in the system that teaches you the system a little easier.
Yeah. That's my biggest complaint about Guilty Gear. I mean, I know that obviously we're just getting plus R this week for the Japanese release, but the mentality for old games, when you look back on it, it's really insane. You have a generation of players where it's like, how do I play Rufus? You know, and you look at Rufus and you're like, how could you not know how to play Rufus? But then you have to teach these people like the concept behind like Venom, and there's no training, there's no trial mode in Guilty Gear. There's no way that a player can just like, I'm gonna go on the game and it's gonna teach me how to play. Like Guilty Gear is just like, you walked out of a subway and you don't know who you are, and you got to live in New York and you don't know what the hell's going on. Like that's Guilty Gear.
It's
really
just like
cool.
exploring the Old West.
It is.
Just go out on your own in the wagon and hope you don't die.
Yeah.
Hope you don't get eaten by bears or something.
Or Burger Sheriff doesn't come to town.
In XX, we'd call it gimmick gear because like we'd know certain matchups so well, but we'd go out of town and lose to an Angie or something, and we'd be like, "How's this character low tier?" But if you don't frame super jump out of like unblockable setups, like you're a scrub. That's all.
That's one of the least favorite things about Guilty Gear is the matchup knowledge you have to have. I mean, you already have this really difficult game, and then it's like, all right, so now you've mastered your characters, you know your combos, you know your FRCs. All right, now you're gonna get spanked by a Dizzy that you've never played against before.
Exactly.
And then it's like, and then so you're gonna go home.
Out.
You're gonna go 0-2 against Dizzy and Robokai. You're gonna go home. You're gonna practice for 2 months. You're gonna go to the next tournament. Holy Order Soul kicks you in the face, and you're just like, I quit.
And there was a lot of that. I remember going to tournaments and people would basically they wouldn't care about the tournament as much as I need to use this weekend to spend as much time playing against the people I have never seen before. Like, wow, there's a bike in here. I need to sit down and play this person for hours to finally figure out how this matchup works.
Yeah.
It's like you just seriously point at that one guy. It's like you sit down here.
Don't
until
move
that win counter says 50 on either side. We're not leaving.
Oh, dude, the sessions back then were so ridiculous. It's fun.
Well, it's like one of those games you could literally play for hours on end. I know me and Honorado spent like fucking 6 hours just going one match, basically, not switching characters until we were just both literally unable to, stay awake any longer,
Yeah.
I've never been able to do that with any other game.
I mean, that definitely happens. I've been trying to learn I learned Accent Core playing with Steve and Paul, and then it would be one of those things where it's like, I'm just going to get a couple games off, and then I'll go home at 2 a.m., and then I look out, like, oh, the sun's coming up. All right, that's 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's what happened with me when Knock was first teaching me how to play Reload. Like, we played, like, we'll say, we'll just play for like 30 minutes and jump on something else, and 5 hours later, it's like, whoa, wait, these 30 minutes passed by pretty fast.
All of a sudden, it's 6 a.m., you missed work.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, sorry, go on, Paul.
Oh, no, I was going to say, but I think the hardest thing is going to be balancing that want to learn and that need to learn with a need for an ease of entry for modern players, because people get scared away by that level of depth where it's like, if I don't sit down for 6 hours, I can't even compete in this matchup. And I'm not sure how they're going to do that successfully, because I know that right now there's a large group of Guilty Gear players who will not accept an easier game.
I've
not
never...
gonna have a
the thing is,
choice.
it's like, what do you define as easier? Like, just having an execution barrier like FRCs being removed still leaves stuff like dealing when it's their air dash pressure and just block strings in general and knowing when to faultless. That's the basic core of the game. Like, are they just going to remove the really wacky execution barriers? Like, the way the dusts work now, it doesn't look like they allow you to do impossible dusts. Instead, you just have like an option just to do something that resembles an impossible dust.
I think that in Guilty Gear, the difficulty doesn't come necessarily just from execution. The game is, I think, relatively simple. It comes from these characters that are incredibly complicated by themselves. you have all these mechanics going on, you have all this frame data being thrown at you, and there's 23 characters, and it's like you have one character, and some of your characters, your character might be good against certain characters or whatever, but that's, I think, the true difficulty. And then you have all this hidden bullshit like jump installs and one frame jumps and white blocking, and it's just ridiculous. There's so many layers of complication that they've added over time. It's almost like modern games are like League, and then Dota is Guilty Gear.
I want to see at least the wall. Like, it could be easier to get into, but I still want the skill level to be one of those like mountain games. Like, it reminds me of Third Strike or like ST. Like, over the years, you get so proficient. It's all about like who knows more and can actually apply their knowledge. Like, but the thing that like with Guilty Gear, a lot of people get overwhelmed because you were saying, like instant block, faultless defense. Where do I use meter? But like when you actually get proficient with your character, you get to like look at all these subsystem tools, and you're like, wow, I could do this for defense in this matchup, and you're like so like thankful they put it in the game as long as you can perform. Like,
yeah, Gear has that thing where it's really like threes in that if you know more than the other person, you can make them look really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like they could be, they could be a master of their own character. It's like, oh, but they don't know this Haas matchup. Well, you're just getting punched in the face and you're on fire repeatedly. You just don't really know what went wrong. It's like, hey, what happened, dude? I was gonna throw him my wake up, but then he ran through me and I'm on fire. I don't know, man.
Hey, so Markman just tweeted that Accent Core Plus R just got released on the US PSN.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. I think it's about that time. Close the shop here.
Yeah, well,
Later, guys.
Oh my god.
Well, that's really good news for everybody in the U.S. who was not able to find a share or to go get a Japanese PSN account.
well, as an Xbox owner, I'm gonna be over here playing Animal Crossing. So let me know. What's going on?
Just crying silently.
Yep.
Yo, literally,
Okay.
if you guys just heard that, shout out I Play Winner for leaking it out at first. Well, actually, Mark got it, but never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Mark just posted that
so-
on
Apparently, I can't retweet Mark though. He's protected.
I love Mark.
the... What?
He's connected.
No, I think it's because I was already trying to retweet from an account that was already retweeted.
Oh, okay.
It's just a bug.
You're just trying to mash retweet like 50 times.
Oh my god!
Tweet
Please,
this 8 times.
I need my 17 fake accounts. Everybody must know.
So, and a lot of those gameplay mechanics are still in Surge from what everybody's saying in terms of FD and instant blocking. People are saying jump installs were confirmed at the Loke test.
Jeez.
Are the
Wow.
average
Yay.
gamers really going to want to play Surge then? Or are they going to be turned off the same way a lot of people were by this game?
Dude, XX was ridiculously popular. Like, I remember back in the day, like, you'd have huge tournaments for that game. It's just that the constant, like, releasing new sequels and then the whole Japanese versus American release, like, wait period just killed it.
I
You know, you
think
had
Plus
two-
R came like 2 years after or 3 on Xbox.
Oh,
You
man.
mean Reload?
Yeah, Reload, sorry.
Yeah, Reload came out way late. I mean, it was just kind of a complicated mess, and that's been one of the major problems with Guilty Gear. I mean, we all know from the past how EVO would basically get a game, they'd announce Guilty Gear XX, and you'd be like, no, man, you gotta be Reload. And they'd be like, no, there's no release for it, sorry. And,
That
every year
was
after.
scary.
That netcode, oh, dude, that netcode. I bought an Xbox, I played it, got Zig Zig in Seattle to play, or Zig Mover 921 to play me.
Yeah.
And we were the only two
Potemkin.
people. We're the only two people playing, and it was like half a second lag. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
played somebody. I blocked stand kick meaty and kept doing Potemkin Buster after. And I literally was like, all right, I'm going to block and hold up. And I got Potemkin Buster holding up the next 3 times. Like every time.
Couldn't hold up hard enough, dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like I remember going to Nocturnal's place and watching him play, and it's like, wait, it's like he's playing underwater. It's like at least 1 second delay, and he was playing against people in Arizona.
Underwater doesn't quite describe it. I
Yeah,
remember
More
trying to play
quicksand.
that.
It's like Super Mario 2 Quicksand.
I'd rather play
Yeah.
Dream TR on CVS2 Live on the rain stage against this whatever it was, Honda Blanca Bison. That was
yeah, it was Honda Blanca Bison. He was all
Oh.
triggers.
I remember playing on the Xbox just once, and I'm just like, I was getting really frustrated because I'm by no means anywhere near to be any proficient at all. And so I just did a raw instant kill and got him. I'm like, well, this is cool, and then he left.
Disconnected. Well, I think the thing you have to look at BlazBlue to see where ArcSys worked is going to be in terms of updating the game, and obviously, just like Guilty Gear, BlazBlue's been updated every year and a half, 2 years. So I got to imagine that Surge's going to be updated just as frequently.
Yeah.
If they're going to put as much time in it, and they've said they're going to do that, but they might be. Historically, with Guilty Gear, they took some time between most of the updates, not counting Slash. So I don't think we'll see as frequently updated, but we'll definitely see like maybe 3 iterations. Especially if they know they're making money off that shit. They're not going to.
Oh, we're going to get Third Strike?
Third Strike.
Man, how long were you waiting for that joke?
I just actually came up with it right now, and I'm writing it down again. Just going to write Genius right below it, too.
Underline 3 times.
So, what do you think the chances are we're going to get another 4-player Guilty Gear this round?
Why would you do that?
Stop that.
I like building my own RoboKai as much as the next man, but no.
Dude, my RoboKai was sick. He had Eddie's command grab, Soul's uppercut, and Potemkin Buster, I think.
Oh,
I had the unthrowable command grab, and then I had the 4-frame command grab. So I had some sick mind games going, and then I would just uppercut randomly, and there was nothing you could do.
It actually sounds really scary. The first time I played that game was Evo 2004, and somebody had a bootleg of it, and I think it was me, Flash, Fubar and Alex G playing, and it was like, wow, this game's amazing.
That was at Pomona, right?
Yeah, it was at Pomona.
Yeah, they had it at the arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game was shitty.
Yeah.
There's a video. One of the most famous videos for that game was fucking a team of
Bridget?
It was no. It was 3 RoboKais versus an Axel.
Oh.
And the 3
missiles all day?
RoboKais just did nothing but crouching heavy, so the missiles were just shooting up, and like poor Axel couldn't get down.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's like the most popular video for that game too.
Oh yeah, dude.
I was a really
amazing.
big fan of the fake Slayer wall, where you just made it so like you can never get away from Slayer. It's like, hey, these power bunkers aren't pushing away.
Wow.
That was a bad time. It was like, that came out and SVC at the same time.
Oh, man.
And then shortly we got Fighting Jam.
Oh, wow. Sick. Actually,
Those were the
guy.
dark ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's actually what I was gonna say.
I
You
took
have all these-
CFJ seriously
That's where you fucked up.
for 10 months.
Pull
But
your
yeah.
ass.
Yeah, but you have all these people talking about the Dark Ages coming soon or whatever. There's no way we're gonna go through Dark Ages. Like Dark Ages were back then, like 10 years ago. I'd say those were the Dark Ages.
All right, so just an
You're
update.
forced to
Markman has deleted his tweet. The game is not released.
Wait
Uh,
a minute. I still have it up, so technically he can't delete
Dude,
it.
my tweet deck just deleted it. It's just like it's gone. I had the thing.
Hey,
open,
Hell
I was
Pockets.
looking at all the
Hell Pockets.
replies.
Put it up.
I'm about
Put
to
it
put it up. This thing will never disappear.
Oh man, it's gone.
oh, whoa. Whoa, you're right. Oh, shit.
Oh, that sucks.
But
Here, I'll just copy, paste, and
I've
hold
still
on
got
to
it.
that.
I like that. I'm still got
We should have had Badoofus run this through first.
Yeah, Badoofus never gets anything wrong.
It's true.
I mean, you saw what he said about Hell Pockets and his Who's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
He said I should choke and be replaced. I should choke to death.
I'm
and be
never
replaced.
Xing
Yeah.
out this Twitter
Hanzo,
screen ever
Hanzo.
again.
I'm never Xing out this Twitter.
Oh,
screen.
man.
So, with the new Guilty Gear Zerd, Third, whatever the shit, I personally, I look at it,
And it looks like it plays just like a regular Guilty Gear game. And all the people I've spoke to who've already played it in Japan, they say it's Guilty Gear. It feels like Guilty Gear. It's just pretty and smooth as shit. Kugi, you were saying that some people don't like the way it looks or the way it plays or something?
No. It was just when it first got announced, the trailer, there was a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, maybe like 5% of the people that I talked to were like, oh, I don't like the way it looks, or oh, it's getting away from sprites, or, some dumb argument like that.
Kai's ponytail.
Yeah, Kai's ponytail or whatever. So, I mean, that was some of the things I've heard, but I kind of ignored it because I was like, I don't care. Like, it's too hype. I'm too hyped for it.
I like Milia's costume because she looks like the chick from Psychic Force, and I love that game.
Some people were saying she looks more like the chick from Galaxy Express.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah.
Nerd alert.
Hey, shut up. That shit was
which girl from
passable.
Psychic Force? Wendy?
Well, okay, who cares about Psychic Force?
Psychic Force.
So,
what?
I mean, overall, I like. Okay, I'm not too big on Kai's new designs. The ponytail looks weird.
Why?
I like
Why don't
Milia's.
you like the ponytail?
Potemkin at first I didn't like, and then I saw him in action. I'm like, yo, he's kind of sick. I love it.
He needs
And
pigtails.
Yeah. My favorite overall is Venom. I mean, Venom is a beautiful man in this game. He's very handsome.
Yeah, they
And
didn't
he's
really do
beating
much
the
to
crap out of
Venom.
you.
He's still got the Gucci belt. He's still
Yeah.
got the hair with the symbol on it, and he's fine.
He actually looks almost identical to his original Guilty Gear representation, just
Yeah.
HDified.
Well, the only things that are different is that he has, I think, the Assassin's logo on his shoulder, and he has like belt straps on his legs.
Well, he's always had the belt straps. It's just now they're more defined.
Do you guys think this game will run the same theme that the Assassin's Creed is always top tier? Like they're like the top 4 bosses of Street Fighter 2. Like they're generally all really good usually.
So far, it's holding. I wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well,
If we get all
those
4 of them,
characters are
that's the real question.
good. Just really good
Yeah.
designs.
It's a toss-up if we're going to get 4. I mean, we have 2 of them already.
If,
So,
if Eddie's reload moveset, then I'm calling it. He's going to be the best character in the game. Even if they get rid of Unblockable, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's like you never bet against Justin kind of a situation with Eddie. You always bet that Eddie's going to be the best character in the game.
Return
And
to
you'll usually be on top of that bet.
You never bet against a character that has a second character in an arc system game.
the guy can literally move
Don't
across
do.
the ground unhindered.
And then just give me Slash Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
It'd be so amazing.
Nope, you're not asking for the right thing. If you're gonna play Slayer, it's like you can do anything to his moveset as long as BBU's still there.
Oh, that's gone.
Yeah. No force breaks as far as I know.
Well,
Yeah.
wrap it up, guys. I stopped caring. Back to plus R.
Speaking of which, the bar is still segmented into 4 pieces, but does anything only use 25 meter?
That's what I was wondering about too.
That's actually a good
Yeah.
question because it's
I
only
hadn't thought about that.
FRCs that use 25 meter.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or
Interesting.
force breaks, but they don't have either of those.
Yeah, and in the other games that they've made, BlazBlue had it sectioned off into halves, except for Jin, who had EX moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had Hakumen, who only had 1 bar.
Yeah.
Wasn't segmented at all.
Well, that could be alluding to something that they haven't revealed yet. Maybe this is a very basic build of it, you know? Which is always
Yeah.
possible.
Very true.
They didn't have
Yeah.
instant kills. Like they were trying to
Well, then, yeah.
different methods and whatnot, and they couldn't figure out anything for that.
Well,
There's
we know
also,
that's
like, the-
definitely in there.
Yeah, instant
Yeah.
kill is a Guilty Gear staple. Like, even if it's not really used in tournament play as much, it's still something that the casual player would love
Well,
to have.
here's a question. Did they just try it with like button inputs where it's like, we hit all 4 and see if it occurs? Or maybe they've created a situational instant kill thing like they've done in their other games like BlazBlue and Persona where it's like, it's this round, I have this much meter, and they have this much health.
That's what they were trying. Like 10% last rounds with full meter, like trying different motions and whatnot.
Dude,
Well,
what if it's
doesn't
like
your,
fucking North Star? What if it's like fucking North Star, man?
That'd be cool. Take their stars and then take their soul.
man.
But the life also blinks when you're low now, doesn't it? But it doesn't. It's just an indicator that when you're on low health, does
Less
anything
than
change?
20%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
does
probably
allude
what
to
it'll
something.
go to.
Maybe some kind of reverse desperation kill thing.
That'd be cool.
You can only instant kill when you're on the ropes, so that
Yo,
you can
comeback
win.
mechanics.
You could, yeah, you could just scumbag it out and just like land.
Wow.
There used to be some like actual setups, like KV Nova and XX. He hit, I think, Daigo for money in 2003 or 4 with cross-up instant kill with Angie. Because he jumps on the dragon and he rides it full screen, and if you time it as a cross-up on first frame meaty, it's an actual cross-up. But
Oh, so it's like, it's just a really crappy Psycho Crusher.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
it's incredibly hard to set up. Like you have to do like low dust, RC, instant kill, activate, and then do it like within a frame.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. So, what about God, what was it? There's that one new mechanic. I can't even think of what it is now. Oh yeah, the clash system. The way they've changed it. Like, so when lights clash, they just kind of clash, and then what happens when a stronger one hits? Like,
Well, no,
does the
what
other
they
person
it
knock
was like
back
the
a bit?
idea we had initially when we saw the trailer for the first, first debut of it, where it seems like same level strength moves just result in what is a clash now, where
Yeah.
you're at neutral.
Mhm.
Where a weaker move clashes with a stronger one, the weaker one is put into a slight disadvantage.
It's like a
Ah.
repel almost.
Yeah, and apparently if like two really really strong moves clash with each other, it goes into crackhead mode, and then the next hit is what is essentially a fatal counter. It sounds like.
Oh, so it's not like JoJo where I gotta start mashing once we collide or something.
God, I hope not, because I mean, my matching skills are impeccable. Like, I scientific mash. I hate these diagonals. But
I'm wondering if it's going to be like auto cancel state, or is it going to be like you can only cancel to a different move they used last time? Because in the original XX Jam, she had parry cancels, and you could parry and then burst and then pretty much roll cancel. You wouldn't use your burst and you'd get invincibility, and you could actually do the same thing with clashes. Like since the clash could be canceled, anything you could burst cancel off clashes in the earlier games. But like for this one, and it kind of just makes me think about Arcana Heart. Like what I don't like about 3, you can just mash same button on clashes. It's just
Oh,
so
yeah.
annoying.
Oh man, just I'm spinning on Kaz every day. Just roll into people.
All right. So what about characters? How many are we getting for Surd?
I'm gonna go with 12.
50.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
Dude,
Yeah,
I
all
was,
the
gonna,
back
I was
characters.
gonna say it's 50. Damn it.
how many
44.
are there plus R?
Plus ours 24, 25, I think.
25.
I'll go with 15 to 17. I think that's like the bare minimum because they have all the games past like X have had 15 plus.
All right, let's refine this a little bit. Who's not going to be in it?
Robo-Kai.
Holy or
Okay.
Robo-Kai. I think Holy or Soul, Robo-Kai, and Aba are out of there. They're done.
Oh,
kind of-
no.
I want to say Anji's not going to be in it.
I could. That's kind of
I don't-
weird. I think he's a.
No.
I think he's a mainstay at this point.
You think they're gonna
Yeah.
get rid of any of the Japanese characters?
Yeah, that's one of the other things. He's been there since X, and it's like it's just like saying you're gonna get rid of Biken.
He's also like a storyline mainstay, so he's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
I would be
Obviously-
upset if they get rid of Biken.
They're going to get rid of Faust.
You know,
No.
Justice and Cliff are probably done.
Josh is like, no.
They'd have to put Fanny in the game. It's the only way I trade off on that.
What if they,
Exactly the same
what if they
character, just
finally
Fanny.
replace Axel with Raven?
That would be
That'd be
weird.
more-
Excellent.
Nah.
I want to
But
be
if
able
they
to play,
do-
like I said last week, that man with Ivan Ooze moveset. Come on.
Obviously, we're not going to have Cliff or Justice.
Yeah.
The story has moved on.
Dude, I hope Eno's in it. That's
Yeah, that's what I
all
was gonna
wanted
say.
to see Eno.
Eno in this art style, or just in this new updated
Oh
graphic
my
style,
God.
would look amazing.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they would keep her in there after the.
Okay, hold on. I want all the XX characters in it.
All the XX introduced characters, like
Yes.
okay.
So do you think Holy Order Soul won't be in it either?
No, I don't think he's gonna be in it.
I don't think so either.
That
What about
sucks.
Dizzy?
Yeah, maybe she's a freaking pirate, so technically she has a reason to be there.
She's really popular in Japan, too, if that poll was any indication.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dizzy's gonna have to be in the game.
Wasn't Bridget the number 1 in the poll?
Yeah, it was Bridget at number 1.
And then Dizzy
Ah.
was like 2 or 3.
Yeah. And I remember Slayer was rounding out the top 10.
So how many years after is Zerd supposed to be? Do we know yet, or?
Yeah, we figured it out before.
It's not. We haven't figured out precisely, though. It's just.
I think it was like 5 or some shit.
Well, we
It's
can
like
assume
6.
because Soul's New Sword has a date on it.
Oh.
I
So
think
does that
it's-
mean Disney's 7 years old now?
Well, here's the thing: when they came out with Overture, they pretty much established that it was like an alternate timeline, and like Kai Kisuke becomes some king of some fake country. And in this
Your
game,
mom's an alternate timeline.
yeah, well, she's still better than yours
Oh.
in both timelines. Anyway, and in this storyline, Kai has become the king of that same fake country, but he's a lot younger than he is in Overture, obviously. So it might be somewhere around that time, which means we might actually see possibly Overture character. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, it's possible they could.
It's a
do
possibility.
Overture.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I don't know any of them. I'm like,
Hey guys, you remember Sin? Everybody loves Sin, right? Sin? Sin?
The
You guys,
bastard
kids,
son
kids?
of Kai and some girl that was probably supposed to be Dizzy.
Well, the thing about Arc Sys is that they will put stuff like that in the game, and people always forget about that. Like, look at BlazBlue. It's like, hey, there's this character in the background. Let's just throw him in this game. Let's call him Hazama. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a storyline behind him and everything, but to people who don't pay attention to the storyline like me, I saw the character in the background. They're like, oh yeah, he's a character. He was in the background of this stage. Now he's actually a character you can pick. I was like, oh, that's sick.
I think they
And
went
it's
too
also
far with
very
that Makoto
much-
character.
they need to put in the Samurai Cat. That's all I know.
And it's also very much like Arc Sys to not put major storyline characters in. If BlazBlue is any indication, because we're never getting
That's
Jubei
true.
and we're never getting Coco in there.
Yo, I would play BlazBlue if Jubei isn't it.
Yeah, me too.
Dude, he'd be crazy. I don't even know what he'd do. He'd just be crazy.
He'd be crazy.
Oh,
So
He'd be Virgil.
Hold on. But Doofus brings up a good point. Burger Sheriff. What if he were in the game?
God, if Burger Sheriff was in this game.
Dude, he'd have a move where he powers up and eats a hamburger.
Dude,
and then,
burger
like, your ass
install?
going to jail.
Whoa.
no, he has a burger meter like the coin gauge, right?
What if he has 8 burgers?
It fills
He
up
only
and
has
then
8
it
burgers.
counts down.
Yeah, but he eats too many at once. He has to throw up.
And he explodes like Noble Kai.
He uses
he
a
gets burger
revolver.
Wait, this
instead.
goes back to what I was talking about before. When what was like I was doing this on the show that sucks, and they were like, "What's the fighting game mechanic you want to see?" I was like, "Man, I want to see like something where like you can ingest stuff that gives you more power, but if you fuck up and eat too much, you gotta like go off and yak in the corner or something, or you shit your pants and you have like negative 15 frames."
You want it to be more accurate to your real life.
I call it the hold up. Hold up. Shit the pants.
So, I have a question. So May has an Ensenga now,
Yeah.
but will Johnny come back?
She had it in her EX form at least, but
Yeah, and she like belly flops afterwards, so it's kind of like
Yeah, and that-
a Shingo
And
up kick
that
kind of
was
thing.
Her Jackhound in X and Core and Plus R is is a force break, which is just she just flops over. I don't
Yeah.
know. I assume Johnny's gonna come back.
I don't know.
But
I don't
you
think
never
Johnny
he's gonna
seems
come
really
back.
popular.
I don't think
Yeah.
Johnny's gonna come back because he's like looking at Maze like, you got too old.
No, I think he might come back, but maybe as like story only because everybody loves Norio Wakamoto. But
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yes.
but at the same time, do you think there's going to be any new characters?
They
next
have to put at least one or two.
Bridget?
No, I mean just like new in general.
Oh, new in
like,
general.
So,
like,
what, of characters that haven't touched would be something like Raven or that other assistant that hasn't been named for that man?
No, I mean just people that we've never seen or heard from before. And it's like, hey, it's me, guys. I was
Oh,
here all
it's-
along.
it's that man's wife. That wife.
Get the
That
dog
wife.
from Isuka.
No, if there's any dog that needs to be in a fighting game, it's BlazBlue's hype dog.
No, it's got to be the dog from Vampire. Freaking
Blue Mary's dog.
Oh, you mean the
Anton?
vampire clap dog?
Yeah, the one that dances.
Yeah, clap dog, dude. He just stands up and starts clapping.
That dog is pretty cool.
Like Bisham on stage, he's like, "Oh, look at that Shiba Inu. He's just dancing over there in that corner. He loves everything he sees."
He was really excited about it.
He's like, "Yo,
You
there's
guys ever-
ghosts fighting."
you guys ever see the hidden character in that was in the Vampire Chronicles or whatever? The collections disc? Like
No.
there's like a vampire hunter version of Donovan.
Oh,
named-
D?
Yeah,
Oh.
so cool.
But yeah, I think we're gonna get at least probably two characters, whether they're storyline characters who've never been playable or brand new characters.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
And
Just
then with
because I
updates,
feel
we
like
get
they.
more.
Yeah, we could. I definitely feel like they're going to want to sell it to new players as well as to established players. So maybe give new players something new to look at.
Hope they're girl characters.
We're also putting in Ragnar the Blood Edge. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah, and speaking of that, there were people at the test reporting that there are already alternate outfits. Like Milia has her original outfit, and supposedly Potemkin does have his original outfit as well.
I would
That's
like to see
That's
that.
good.
They said that there will be alternate costumes for characters, and they're rumored to be Blaze Blue inspired, which I personally am not a big fan of, but...
Well, it might be one of those things where it's like the colors palettes are just Blaze Blue inspired.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe they won't have like full-on remodeled costumes.
Well, they said it is going to be a whole different costume. Not
Well,
just
rip.
So it's gonna look just as good as Cross Tekken's, right? You know. where it's like,
Wow.
man, I really love this. What was it? Street Fighter, like Ryu, Bob, and all that.
Well,
Dude, I was a big fan of Yuri and Brian that had the fucking bandolier and the grenades all over his thong. I was like, yeah, if Yurian was really militant, this is what he would look like.
Dude,
Well,
some of
this
those
is my-
costumes were weird. Like
Yeah.
they were just so out of left field.
yeah.
yeah. And
Some of them were really cool, though, too.
Yeah.
A
they
few
were-
of them were really
Okay,
cool.
okay. Okay, so I'm just saying Teddy Bear Kuma was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
and
I
Chun
kinda
as
did like-
Panda.
Yeah.
I like the Clown Brian. That was kind of weird.
Clown Brian was terrible and frightening.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like it's not good from like a visual standpoint. But just seeing like a really angry clown that wants to beat the shit out of you is like.
Did you ever see Clown Brian land a super where he's just like stomping your face out and you're like, oh, this is some like Clockwork Orange shit. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah. With a giant toy robot.
Yeah, that was cool, too.
Yeah. Honestly, I have more faith in ArcSys doing something like this than Capcom. Because obviously Capcom's versions of different characters and different costumes wasn't the greatest. I do
Yeah.
think ArcSys would do a much better job. Because Daisuke doesn't like, putting shit in his game.
We're not gonna get hip hop clothes soul. You know, his chain and his
wow.
durag
Soul
walking.
guy.
I
And
want,
Sagmore when he does Bandit
Soul or
Revolver.
I want Freddie Mercury bad guy. That's what I want.
Yeah, I just say white jumpsuit, yellow jacket. Give it to him.
I'm just really glad that old Potemkin is in there because I don't know about this new one, dude. Like, the whole thing about old Potemkin is like some slave that fought for his country, man. He knew about the struggle.
Yeah.
This new one's all like, what are you, some sort of like officer, some uniform, man? You ain't about that life anymore. I can't trust you.
But Tamkin's a man now. I mean, simply,
Yeah,
he
man.
is the man.
He went from NWA to LAPD.
And
So if there is new characters in the game, do you think they're gonna follow the suit of being like band metaphors to other like Daisuke's favorite rock bands, or like?
I think
Yeah,
they'd have
probably.
to.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Like,
He
everything
still has all
does.
creative control, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he should.
So he has all these like thrash and, black metal references. What about glam metal references?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell
We
yeah!
tried to do this
That would be really
last
cool.
week.
I know.
and people
I'm just
kept
gonna.
talking
I'm
about
gonna keep
David
bringing
Bowie.
this back.
They
Yeah,
could
we
put the
have-
hype dog in and call him Biscuit.
I'm telling you,
How
man.
about that?
D. Snyder.
No, please no Twisted Sister.
It's got to be
I want to see
consistent.
Viking with '80s hair.
Do we have
Wow.
a Dio? Is there a
Poison.
Dio-inspired character?
Does it?
I don't think there's a holy diver, dude.
Yeah, exactly. See, we need a holy.
That's what I'm saying. There's nobody else in glam metal that really epitomizes that shit other than
What
like
about
super
Anvil?
Fucking... Yeah, nah.
I
What
mean,
about Halloween?
I still,
Halloween
I
would be
still
sick.
wanted David Bowie.
That's power metal.
Halloween
Though.
would be sick.
Oh,
Oh,
Guar.
God, Bowie. Bowie would be the most broken character.
Guar-inspired character would be fucking sick.
Hell yeah! It'd be like Zappa's dad. I don't know.
Dude, it's like his
This
instant
is-
kill is a big vagina that eats you.
So this is what I want. I want Bowie. I want Lemmy, and I want Dio. That's what I want.
You're asking for a lot.
I am asking for a lot.
They better
Nah,
do-
Bowie's just gonna be that man.
Yeah,
Is it-
you're gonna
that's the
find
thing.
out.
They're all top tier.
I'm gonna ban this guy that said Kurt Cobain skin.
I like
Wow.
that you did ban him too.
Oh, you actually did ban him. What a dick.
Yo, leave that man alone with his bang.
I only timed him out.
Yeah, it would be neat to see more rock-inspired characters. I talked to someone about this the other day. They're like, "Yeah, I want to see some like hip-hop inspired." I'm like, no,
How about no?
gotta be rock.
Just
Got
like a character or a super named Motorhead would be really cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
that would be cool.
Damn it, I want it.
Isn't the name of Tager's theme song?
Is it?
No, that's Taker's actually. Yeah, you're right.
That's cool.
What?
I was trying to correct, and I was like, wait, no, it is.
Oh.
Jesus,
Maybe some
little
more
B
modern
inspired
metal
characters.
influences.
Well, there's a good Little idea. B?
But no rap characters. You wouldn't want a Schoolie D character? That'd be pretty cool.
MCP pants, man.
Hell
Just
yeah.
Some
MC Chris.
like Run DMC, just like really old school. Like
Hell yeah.
oh god.
This is getting some Mugen shit right here.
Yeah, it is.
2 characters that play at the same time, kid and play.
Oh, they're gonna be like the Ice Climbers?
No, dude, they're gonna be the replacement for Eddie. They just got absorbed by the parasite.
you just desync one of them so you could do like throw setups.
Does that mean that kid controls play?
Get hit with the house
Play's been
party.
dead for years.
Wow.
Oh,
I would say Zap and Roger if it's gonna be the two. But
Zap and Roger.
Oh.
Damn. Bringing it back.
That's shit.
Why don't we?
that
Okay, screw
funky
this shit.
Guilty
Let's
Gear.
just
Turns out
go
we're all really
Simon and
old.
Garfunkel.
Simon
yeah, there you go. Hall and Oates.
Yeah, dude, exactly what I was gonna
only
mention.
Hall.
Thank you.
No oats.
Thank you.
I'm fine with that.
We get one of the
Wait,
Doobie
no.
Brothers.
If you get Paul,
Always Michael
cancel
McDonald.
him. Just give us Mencina. Yeah.
Nobody wants
So-
him though.
So, do you think, with the release of Plus R on PSN, hopefully soon here in the States, do you think that'll be a good lead up for new players to get into the new game? Just by hearing the mechanics and stuff like that?
I've been reading NeoGAF, and it's a lot of dudes like, "Wow, this game's old. I don't know." But so they're like hyped for the new CS, I guess. But everyone seems like they really want to play Zerd. It's just, I guess, is an old man game.
It's a new old man game. You gotta play the old ones to get good at the new one because they look exactly the same.
Yeah, it's that young man's ST.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I've never understood the idea of like, oh, it's an old game, I won't play it. It's like, dudes, people still play chess.
I mean, chess isn't that old.
Mahjong's been around for over 3,000 years.
Hey, that's so much
I can't
money.
even count that high.
And everybody.
What about chess 2, guys?
Ooh,
We don't,
chess
all right, let's. Yeah, okay. Did nobody give Josh the rules on this show? All right. We don't mention chess 2.
What about Chinese checkers? That's the real chess
Oh.
2.
Yeah.
Does anybody actually know how to play that?
Nah.
Man.
What about Shogi or Go?
Oh, I
you
don't fuck
guys?
someone
I can
up
play
with
Go.
Shogi.
Hell yeah.
What about Othello?
Come on. That's
Whoa.
Let's just go.
What the hell are we even talking about anymore?
No, it isn't. It's not even Go.
What we're
You
talking
gotta flip the
about
colors.
is just because it's an old game doesn't mean people shouldn't want to play it.
Okay.
That's true.
That's
I
why
think
everyone
it's a
should go out
lack of
there and play,
incentives.
98 Mark of the Bulls.
Yeah,
Basic
I
games.
agree with Paul. Is that
Yeah.
it does feel like there's a lack of incentive because people feel like the common saying that game is dead, which everybody just talks about every game that's not SF4 or Marvel 3.
Yeah. Well, also, it's the fact that, like, oh, hey, Big Name doesn't play this game. I don't know if I should play this game.
Little did they know, Big Game does play it, just not in a widely publicized manner.
Well, they did the same thing with KOF. I mean, like, they were like, who the hell's playing it, though, right? And then some known people started playing it, and they're like, oh, I'll try it out. And then everybody got bopped and went back to the respective corners. And in all likelihood, it might happen with Guilty Gear also.
Well, I mean, there might be a difference here. Whereas, KOF had horrible people teaching you or nobody teaching you when people were trying to get into it. There's a wealth of information for
For Guilty Gear,
people
I
getting
agree.
into gear, yeah.
I agree with that.
I just had Chinese dudes throwing cigarettes at me when I played in KOF in Boston. That's when I knew I was doing good.
Yeah, he had amazing people teaching him how to play.
Yeah, that's how you learn Chinese too. It's like, you just go to the arcade. It's like, do you know what he just said to you? Well, I've translated it, and I think it means both suck my dick or kiss my airplane.
Or a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I want an airplane.
I mean, I do see the game doing well, mainly from a casual standpoint. The game looks amazing. It's just a very good, nice game to look at right now. It's going to do really well in just the anime scene in general. I don't mean the anime fighting scene. I mean, like, the cosplay anime convention goer scene.
Actually, yeah. I mean, have you seen May's new artwork and everything? It's so anime. Everything about it. Freaking April, like, calling to her in her intro, and she just rides a dolphin in. What the hell? Like, it's just like her character almost seems somewhat out of place amongst the rest of the world.
I love her hair in this game.
Yeah. Well, you don't remember that thing? We mentioned it before. That stupid like animated intro they did for X, where the announcer's naming off all the characters, and he's like really vicious sounding for a bunch of them. He's like Venom, Potemkin, May.
Yeah, it's just so funny. It's just
May.
Guilty Gear X.
Oh my god.
Dude, my favorite part of that intro is when the dolphin, like, May jumps on the dolphin's nose, and the dolphin's like, all right, let's do this. And launches May, like, 500 or 600 feet into the air. No problem. Like, what the hell is with that dolphin, dude? That dolphin could launch missiles.
On the
Look, I've already figured out it's a Japanese dolphin, so super strength.
Yeah, he has the power of ki.
Yeah, you dolphin!
It's the dolphin from Aero Fighters.
There we go.
Oh, the dolphin from Aerial Fighters is sick.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of a dolphin.
Just to show the world blowing up.
Hey, this is from the people who made a game about dolphins killing sharks, so. And killer whales. It's totally possible.
What we've seen, what would each of you guys want the new Guilty Gear? Things that we haven't seen, or just additions to things we have seen. We'll start with Chris.
Well, what I like to basically see. Wait, repeat that.
What would you like to see in the new Guilty Gear that we haven't seen?
Like, again, that's hard to say though, because I feel like Guilty Gear has pretty much been the fighting game that has done everything I've ever wanted to do in a fighting game. It even had Just Defend at some point in a way with Slashback. But I would say I would like them to maybe adopt the normal command throw scheme from Third Strike, maybe. I kind of feel like
buttons?
Yeah, I kind of feel like the whole idea behind throw breaking was kind of like slapped together a little too haphazardly, like to the point where it's almost pointless or accidental half of the time. I would like to see that more develop a little bit more.
Gibby?
It's kind of hard for me to say. I'll say different jumps. I like the jump system in Gear. It's just at times, since I come from an SNK background, I keep trying to short hop. And instead of short, like, I've overcompensated for that by doing an instant air dash. Like, oh, jump, oh wait, I can't, it's not going to be a short hop, so let's dash. And then I screw up the follow-up because I press the button before the air dash ends, or after the air dash ends, and it doesn't come out. Something like
I think that just makes you a scrub.
Yeah, no, I'm not good at the game. I'm terrible at the game.
Cougar?
Hmm? Oh, me?
Yeah.
The other Kugler.
I mean, gameplay-wise, there's no way I could even add anything to Guilty Gear at this point or recommend any changes. I just want the core game to have really good teaching tools, and I want really good online. Like, even if it's not the absolute best online, I want, like, lobbies and ways that we can build a community up for the game in the long term. If I could see some really crazy shit, I want to make it so that when you turn on the game, you see any stream for the game, like built in, like a client. That'd be cool.
That would be crazy. Alex?
Give everybody parry.
Wow.
Actually, as a serious one, I don't think there's anything that they could add to the game that hasn't been done already in the mechanics. And I honestly just hope that they do stuff with the characters that doesn't remove a lot of tools from them, because people were saying that you can't hold Stinger Aim and you can't hold Carcass Raid. And I think that was kind of the cool things about Venom is that you could fake people out with the pool balls. And taking that away from them doesn't really remove any execution barrier because they weren't really used mid-combo. They were just used as fake-outs. Like, I don't want the characters so simplified that they lose entire bits of their game.
Anthony?
I honestly haven't a clue either. I mean, everything in the game already has so much to it. I don't know, maybe, like, since we don't have, what's it called anymore? Force breaks, like some more creative use of meter. I don't know exactly what.
Alright, and Josh?
I'm in the same boat where the ad stuff, I don't know if it'd be a good idea, but I'd like a character that had like a true custom combo mode that's not just like solo install or something along that. But I was kind of like on the same page with Kugi. Like, I want to see more infrastructure towards online play and bringing in new players and teaching new players. And I want to see more of these games go into PC formats around the same time. So a lot of people, they multitask through games on their computer while they're in Skype calls or doing whatever these days. And, like, you know, like, fighting games got to keep up with the times, so, you know.
That's actually a really good point because I've been spending a lot of time on my PC lately and I want to practice fighting games, but all my consoles are in a completely different room, so it makes it a pain, honestly. I have to pick one or the other because I don't want to just move all my stuff around all the time. So I think it would be nice to actually have synced up release windows for PC games. And for myself, I just don't want a huge cast. I want a couple new characters that bring new players in, but I don't want to see the list of characters in Guilty Gear go above where it is at Plus R, around 25 at most. Because I think fighting games now have way too many characters for the amount of matchups you have to learn. It's ridiculous. I know everybody wants their favorite character, but that's just not realistic.
Well, what about the counterpoint to that where, let's say they do a decent job with teaching you the game? A lot of problems with learning matchups is that you just kind of have to learn them the hard way, and you just fight a Venom for the first time and you realize that he's just going to put all these patterns and you don't know what to do about specific ones. Or you go up against Amelia for the first time and you realize that if you got knocked down once, you die.
Yep.
Like, what if they do a good job about explaining what each character does, where not only do they teach you the character on your end, where it's like, oh, you're playing as Milia, this is what you need to do. But you're fighting against Milia, don't get knocked down. Like, if they teach you things like that.
I think that there's a point to that, but I also feel like there's a balance in fighting games, and as you increase more characters, you have more chances to come up with hard counters and force counterpick games. Obviously, ST doesn't have a very big cast of characters, but it's a well-known counterpick game. But Street Fighter IV is on the other end, and it also has a very obvious counterpick game. And I feel like Street Fighter IV didn't have to have that, but they just kept making characters and adding them to the game until it was inevitable.
Well, what if the problem with Street Fighter IV isn't so much that the cast is so huge, but that the mechanics don't allow a lot of the cast to succeed? So that makes a counterpick thing, where it's like, oh, somebody picked T-Hawk, I'm going to, I don't know, just pick a runaway character.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible too.
Yeah, whereas in, Guilty Gear, there's obviously characters like what's an annoying matchup for Potemkin? Like someone like Axel.
Yeah.
But once he gets in, it's his game.
Yeah.
So I think it's more annoying for Axel.
Like, he's the one clenching his butt cheeks the entire time.
Yeah.
Potemkin's just holding forward.
Well, you could talk about the old Bridget Potemkin matchup.
Oh yeah.
Where even if Potemkin gets that one hit, it doesn't matter.
The Teddy Boy Blues.
Yeah, because it's basically like Bridget has Wake Up Starship, Wake Up Backdash to beat all Potemkin's options, and the minute he gets one escape, he runs away forever again. So.
Well, I mean, that one's really bad,
Yeah.
but that's an extreme in what is otherwise relatively balanced. Like even with like what Plus R and like preliminary or earlier tier lists, they have a lot of the matchups being pretty even. I think the worst one I saw was Slayer Potemkin, and that's just always been bad.
Yeah. I just feel like as you increase number of characters, that's inevitability is that you're going to have more matchups like that.
I mean, I'll definitely agree, but I think I trust them a bit more to make unique characters that can deal with really bad matchups, as opposed to just making a lot of Me Too characters, like kind of like what Street Fighter 4 has, where they have 15 Shotos now. I forget.
I think it's 35 actually.
35 Shotos, right? It's 35 Shotos, 9 grapplers, 2 zoners, 3 Guile archetypes, and 4 different schoolgirls.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that's the entire cast.
And Blanca.
Oh yeah, and Blanca. He's the monster guy. You always gotta have that wacky monster guy.
And Abel. You guys have to add him.
No, he's a grippler.
Yeah.
He's not a grippler.
He's
a grippler.
He pumps you. He stops you and then he pumps.
He's like a horror movie character, just tosses you around everywhere screaming.
Yeah, dude, he's definitely a grippler.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Anybody got anything else?
Burger Sheriff.
Yeah, so the Runback had a Plus R tournament last year. It's gonna...
Last year. Interesting.
Last year.
Holy shit! You've been holding
It
out
was a
on me.
long time ago that Plus R apparently came out.
I was actually reading something at the same time, and I'm stupid.
Don't lie, you can't read.
I can't read. I'm dyslexic, anemic, and all that stuff that makes you not be able to read, because that's what anemia does.
Wow. Okay.
What the hell?
So yeah, last week they had a tournament at the Runback for Plus R. Plus R is only out in Japan, and it got mixed reactions. Most people wanted to see Plus R, but you can see when people were playing, they were trying out stuff that doesn't seem to work in Plus R, but worked in Accent Core. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
That's why you don't have tournaments for games that just came out.
Yeah, you gotta maybe give it some time, but I don't know. The time frame of it coming out and them starting to have gear tournaments kind of fell that way.
Yeah, I feel like it's always a hard decision to make, because you have people at home who have the game, and so if you put on the old game, a lot of people might be disappointed. And then you have the opposite side of the coin, where you have people who don't have the game, and they're like, why are you playing a game that I can't get access to? I think it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what Blaze Blue at EVO in 2010 or whatever, where it's like, oh, it's not CS, we're not going to play.
I mean, honestly, it perfectly fit the timeline of Guilty Gear in tournaments, where some people have it and some people don't, and that's just the way it is.
Well, here's an interesting question. So, the people that got top 5 at the tournament at the Runback, right? They were all people I can confirm had been playing Plus R.
Yes.
Except for Marn, who I can't say was or was not playing Plus R.
Marn had not had the game at all.
And he got second.
Yeah.
So...
He practiced AC with Flo for like a couple days before, and they were getting back into it.
And he still got away with, just his previous knowledge of the game.
Yeah, it's like Street Fighter 2. Like, you're still gonna... If Guile throws Sonic Boom, you're still gonna hit Stand Fierce with Vega every time, or like,
Dude, it's like I told you earlier, man, experience.
Yeah, exactly. I don't feel like it was Plus R that really determined the outcome of the tournament so much as experience playing Guilty Gear that did.
But I got to play it the day before, like, for a good amount, and I didn't do any new combos. I did like a new combo, but it's not the new combo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the new...
So then everyone's like, wow, you suck. I'm like, wow. Cool, dude.
You spent 2 halves of your meter on that 20%
Yeah, dude.
combo.
It's this fucking scrub Josh, day 1, and he's not doing 90% optimized fast combos after he throws them and RCs them into a bomb that he threw earlier off screen.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
a scrub,
Fucking
man.
scrub.
I had to look away from the screen. It was too bad.
Also, congrats on winning, Josh.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've actually
Your
won-
official Plus R American tournament champion, Nerd Josh.
Well, let the record show. I'm going this on record and publicly stating this. In the match where I played Josh, I let him win.
Yep, that's true.
Yo,
So he can
collusion?
defeat the greater
He
evil.
colluded.
Yeah.
And I've won every first Guilty Gear tournament in America since Slash.
And just to let the record also set the record straight, we colluded, and I got 0 of his money. I did get his one Jack in the Box taco he had left in his bag and had become a milkshake.
Yeah, it was a milkshake.
That thing was gross.
Even trade.
It was a parfait, all right?
Yeah, it was a taco parfait.
Oh, God.
Like, that ain't raspberry sauce.
That's upsetting.
Oh, my God. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people actually get to play Plus R, though, because, honestly, I like the combination of, like, how it's like AC, where everyone gets all their tools, but a lot of the damage isn't as crazy as before, but it's still good. So it's like, or as of now, but at least it makes a lot of the matchups way more interesting. Like, I was watching a lot of Faust versus Dizzy, and every time I watched the match, he got murked, and I'm like, this is 7-3. Like, what's going on right now?
The math, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Actually, here's a question. Now that Kugler's gotten hands on the game, what do you think of Plus R Slayer?
He's okay. I honestly haven't really spent any time with him.
I know it.
Slayer.
I know it.
But playing Eno is amazing.
But Eno, though.
Well, hold on. Let me write that down in my book of characters I don't give a crap about.
Okay, like I played Slayer, and he feels exactly the same, just balanced.
That's about right. It seems like you don't get that much damage off kick loops that, like, I anti-aired you with a random hit, and now I go into full loop.
He seems like a normal character now. So before Slayer had this, like, archetype of huge damage, mega punisher. Now he's just kind of like, well, I have an overhead, I have some average damage, I get a knockdown from an air combo, and there's nothing spectacular about me anymore.
Well, he still gets bonkers damage, but it's way more situational now.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that Slayer, since XX, has always had bonkers damage everywhere. You know, you could set up a situation anywhere on the screen where you just did ridiculous damage, and I don't know, I liked that part of Slayer the most. So when I saw the changes, I saw forward heavy with special cancelable and jump cancelable. That was awesome. So they're bringing back some of the slash elements that made him fun to play. But I don't know, man. I'm too far removed from that character now. Now I'm on to Eno, and I'm trying to
sell out.
How am I a sellout?
You're a sellout, dude. This character's amazing.
He wasn't given any money.
You're a sellout.
Yo,
wow.
Eno's DLC.
You got to go back to this character.
How do you feel about Plus R Eno?
Plus R Eno feels like the most natural version of Eno ever.
Oh, that's sick.
There's a lot of situations with Eno where you're like, oh, okay, I hit them with some random hit, and that's so hard to do in the air. Like, I hit them with, like, jumping punch. And in Accent Core, Slash, or any version, you'd never be able to convert to a knockdown. You just have to do, like, jump punch until they flip out of it, or, you know, you have to waste, like, 50% meter just to do, like, 20 damage. So now, with double air dash, you get some really awesome stuff. Her far slash, I think you recover faster on it, and they don't tech as quickly, so you can get some really cool, like, ground air dash combos. So that opens up her mid-range game, and she has just her stuff in general is way more fun. She's a very fun character now. She still does great damage. She still has amazing mix-ups. She's even better in that department than before. So I can't wait to, like, really be able to sit down and like crack out with her. I've been playing like 2 or 3 hours a day for the past 2 days. So it's just sitting and watching videos and writing down all the notes that I have. It reminds me of the old days, and I never get to do that stuff anymore, you know?
That's awesome.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, Josh has been sitting over here doing the exact same thing, actually.
Yeah, and cool. So one of the things I'm working on, I posted on my Twitter earlier in the week, and it's just kind of a fun thing. It's not very serious yet because I don't know how much time it's going to take. But one of the things that I hate is when a new game comes out and you can't find any data about the character, or you're just kind of like in limbo. You're like, where do I find data? So I've been working on a kind of like a ghetto trial mode, and basically through YouTube videos where I put little notations on the side of each attack as it's coming out, and I teach you how to do these combos as I learn them. And I'll post in the chat so you guys can take a look at that. It's not listed, but it's just something I'm working on. So I'm thinking of doing this for Eno. all the way to throw, so that I have all of her high damage combos, all her good ones, and setting it up so that like Street Fighter players could try to learn, Guilty Gear. And I think that if I can teach you Eno, then I can teach you any character, because she's not as complicated as before.
Oh, that's good.
I feel like if we can get a lot of these Marvel 3 players that have been playing for like 2-3 years now, and they're like getting really good at execution to where they're getting bored with Marvel 3 and the Guilty Gear, like it would definitely be a game they would enjoy.
Well, that's definitely happening here in SoCal, where a lot of the LXG guys are starting to pick up Guilty Gear, or even some of them had admitted that they'd played it before, but just kind of dropped it when other games had come out.
Yeah,
like Infrit's picking it. Yeah, Infrit's picking up. Hypnotic has been playing it. What was the other one? I always forget the name. Helix, exactly. Like, and they're actually getting pretty decent, and they're enthusiastic about it, which is really important. Oh, and Kugler, I was actually going to mention one suggestion for that video. I really like the idea. The only thing I would suggest is the way that Guilty Gear animates is like kind of choppy. Like there isn't a lot of frames of animation for certain things. So if you played the video at normal speed, and then if there was a second version and it played afterwards where it pauses on that normal for like a second or two, so you know what it looks like. Because a lot of people are going to drop it initially, and if you do it way too fast, you're not going to tell where they're dropping it.
Right. Yeah, that's the one of the goals with it was to do minimal editing if possible. But a lot of people have brought that up. They want to do a slow motion version, or just a little bit more production behind it. So I'll see what my schedule allows. It was basically just me sitting in trading mode with my AverMedia card and just kind of like clicking record, fucking the combo up 20 times, getting it one time good, and then being like, all right, cool, upload this.
Well, maybe it could just be, I don't know, you just have the regular one and then like a half speed one afterwards, because doesn't YouTube limit your frame rate to like 30 frames anyways? So
yeah,
so it might be easier to see if they would just like you play it once and then have another one that's just slow motion, like right immediately after. I don't know.
Because one of the problems with YouTube is if you try to pause in certain spots, you don't get the spot that you wanted. Like scrubbing through the video always kind of jumps around beyond what you want. So if there's like a slow motion one, you can have a better view of it. But I think the idea is really neat, and it would definitely help out people, because stuff like mission mode, people go nuts for. So if they actually have a goal and they know what they're supposed to do, it's a little easier for them to learn.
Even before I was like anywhere proficient at fighting games, like the Street Fighter EX trial modes, I used to try and do those all the time. Like I thought they were so cool.
Yeah, like how cool was it when you finally figured out how it wanted you to do some of the dumber ones?
Yeah.
Where it's like back throw them with Zangief, and you're like, how do I turn them around?
So, are we finished for today?
I'd say so.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, we're finished. Yep. We'd like to thank Nerd Josh and Kugi for joining us today. Be sure to follow them on the Twitters. Nerd Josh is at Nerd Josh. Kugi is at Kugi Please. How do you spell it exactly, Kugi?
It's Kugi and then PLZ.
PLZ. So not like Kugi Please. Also, his video tutorial series or character tutorial series will be on Broken Tier YouTube for those of you who are watching the replay. Don't forget to pre-order King of Fighters 13 on the Steams.
Yes.
Pretty good, I think.
Also, remember that Zatanna is released for Injustice tomorrow. That character looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's voiced by Lacey Chabert.
There you go.
Yeah.
If any of you guys are in the Northeast, the anime tournament at Next Level is on the 24th this month and I think it's the first dive kick tournament there too. So if you're into that, it should be fun.
Is that Team Stickbug or?
Yeah, I think it's Team Stickbug dive kicks you or something. I don't know. It's something to do with dive kick.
Okay. And then Summer Jam is this month later.
It's
I think it's this weekend.
Is it this weekend? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are they going to be running Plus R at Summer Jam? Does anybody know?
Wait, Summer Jam is this
They
weekend?
would be. Probably.
If people bring it to my booth, I'll run it there,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and I
That
can
should be
record
cool.
it.
Nice.
But yeah, that about does it for us here today. Hope everybody enjoyed their time. Thanks again to the guys for showing up and being a part of this roundtable discussion of not experts. We just talk a lot of shit and have fun. So for everybody here at Super Desperation Radio, this is Super FX saying good night and good luck.